Hey Greg, how are you? Man, it's good to hear your voice. You getting ready for this? Well, I think you guys dodged a pretty good bullet there with that hurricane. Uh-huh. Well, oh yeah, we're excited to be there. Of course. Well, you know, it's funny you bring that up. I'm actually in my shop right now getting a little work done on the motorcycle. Okay. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, yeah, I mean, it's almost done, yeah. I mean, there's very few little things that need to be done to it. And yeah, I mean, I'm ready to hit the road on it. Well, if you want it there, you know, I've never said no to you before. I'm not going to start now. But like, yeah, it's almost done. I mean, it's a couple of minutes here, probably more time cleaning it, and it'd be on the road ready to go. No. You don't owe me anything. This is easy. This is like I said, if it wasn't already to the point that it is where it's nearly complete, we'd have a different conversation. But being that this build is just almost wrapped up, I can do it. Okay. All right, man. Well, thank you. I'm honored. Have a good night. You too. Bye. The bike's not almost done.
My name's Lyonel Gammon. I live in northern Utah, and I have a story to tell you. Last season on Barnyard Bike, you came with me on my epic journey as I found my grandfather's 1988 Harley Davidson Softail that had been long since forgotten and left in the barn. Put it back together. We stripped it all the way down and worked with the industry's greatest builders and manufacturers to put this bike back. Well, I'm glutton for punishment and I'm doing it again. This time I have found a motorcycle that was built by a world-renowned builder. Now we're taking his bike that was once lost and forgotten, and we're gonna put it back on the road. So join me as I take the adventure of my life, building a motorcycle and raising my 3 boys to become men. This is season 2 of Barnyard Bike.
So like anything else, I've got a deadline. And with the deadline and not having parts, you're stressed out. Well, I'm going sleepless nights. I'm second guessing myself, asking, did I do the right thing about changing this and changing that? When in reality, I was just trying to put King Solomon back on the road. Well, parts have finally arrived, and I was hoping for parts to come in piece by piece, 1 box at a time, so I could progressively be putting this bike back on the road. Instead, everything showed up within 10 minutes of itself. 3 different deliveries, 3 different times, all came at the same point. Same day, I had a FedEx, a UPS, and a United States Postal Service all show up on the same day, giving me the parts that I have. So now it's crunch time. Everything's here in the shop. I'm gonna be hammering down. The boys have been told not to bother me. I'm shutting the barn door and I'm going to work. So it got real. Spoke to the High Seas Rally and they invited me to bring King Solomon on the boat. And I'm the sucker that can't say no. So now I have a hard, fast deadline. And I've actually been dying. I've been biting my nails, freaking out. And I don't handle the stress very well. I try to because I'm missing parts. We had parts that were still coming from Rick, of course. We had paint parts and they all literally showed up today within 10 minutes themselves. I'm super excited to do it, but I'm also really nervous because I've come this far now with a tight deadline. I cannot have any mess ups. I can't have any trips or stumbles. So I'm gonna start small. And I'm starting with the smallest package. And this is gonna be the custom tooled seat for my chopper from Redbeard Leather. And I have to actually rivet every single piece on, well, not every single piece. I've gotta rivet that leather on every single one of these holes. So it's gonna take some time, but it should be a fun little project to do. And I feel like in a mad build day like today's gonna be, it's a good place to get started. A little bit dusty. And of course, see, I don't have a real true riveter, but I have the next best thing. And that's a good old handy pneumatic hammer. So pneumatic hammer, of course, hyper speed, should be able to pop these rivets. I don't have the block you put on the back, but I do have that bolt. So what I'm gonna do is put a glove on, hold that bolt on the other side, hit the rivet, bop, 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 and hopefully slowly but surely I'll drive all of these rivets in, not doing damage to the leather or the metal here, because I don't have time for that.
What if I'm injured in a motorcycle accident?
Call Law Tigers.
What if I can't get this paper jam to clear?
Don't call Law Tigers.
What if the vehicle hit me on my motorcycle and I smack my head?
Definitely call Law Tigers.
What if I get a paper cut?
Were you on a motorcycle?
No, but I used to own a moped.
Still, don't call Law Tigers, and please, get it together. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
See, I met the guys over at Redbeard. Actually met AJ at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. I heard about this guy before, but I've never had the opportunity to meet him. So had a great chance to get talking to him. You know, we've got a lot in common, the way we live our lives, raise our kids. Anyway, kind of just connected right off the rip. And as we talked to him, I said, hey, I'm working on this bike. I would really love to have you tool something for me. And originally, when Rick built King Solomon, this was just a leather piece. Beautifully done with the rivets. So I'm gonna replicate that, of course, with the same rivets that'll actually go in and hold that seat into place. But I thought, you know what? If I'm making it my own, we're gonna put our own flair to it. So decided that we'll get Redbeard to tool us up something. And then here it is. So sent him, well, we got 2 packages in here now. All right, so let's go with number 1 here. I don't know what all this is. Okay, yeah, look, so this is great. So I wanted to make it effortless and perfect. So this is the actual original leather pan to King Solomon. So this again is exactly how it looked when Rick built King Solomon. Boom. And I just thought, you know what, let's do something different. Let's make it unique. Let's make it cool. So not gonna get rid of that. We're gonna save that. There's a good memento there. But then there's actually there's 2 in here. Oh man, look at this. It's absolutely amazing. They're awesome. I mean, it's just, it's such a cool extra little look, little extra piece of, you know, when you go from straight on original by Rick, by me, my build. So there's no time like the present. Little start to my master list. And now, of course, one of my favorite things is getting to mark off something off the list. Boom, the seat is done, and I had it on there twice, so it's done twice. Now I've got myself in the mode. Let's get the front end on this motorcycle.
The only thing standing between you and the open road is some garage time with the right parts and accessories to make your motorcycle roar. And that's why riders everywhere choose DennisKirk.com, the one stop you need to get your Harley back on the road. Our knowledgeable tech staff will help you navigate our more than 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories that are ready to ship today, with free shipping on all orders over $89. So tune up your ride and get ready for the next adventure. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
So this box, of course, is from Rick. This, by the size of it, is gonna be the original front end to King Solomon. Now, of course, this front end was too long in the original build. So Rick, rather than playing with the math of it, just built another one and he hung this deal up. So when I went to him and told him that I didn't have the front end, that the guy kept it, Rick pulled this out of his storage container. He and I worked the numbers, did the math of it, and cut it up to make it fit. And he's also sent other parts. And then we got something with some body to it. So this is the coolest thing. So I gave the tins to Rick because of what King Solomon meant to him, because he built it in a tribute to his friend. Well, in doing so, I asked Rick if he'd be willing to make me new tins. We all know this story. Well, he told me that he was not going to make the new rear fender because that fender was built by a different builder who has now since passed. And what's really cool is Rick bought the last two. The one that was originally on King Solomon that I just gave back to him, and this one. And Rick and I got talking and thought, hey, we got to do this really cool and unique. We're not going to paint the fender. So this is the exact fender, the exact style of what was on King Solomon in straight titanium. So cool. So straight titanium. Gonna sit something about just like that. But there's gonna be some work. I'm gonna polish it as well just to make sure, clean it all up. We gotta drill some holes to mount it. But we got a rear fender. All right, what else do we got? Here comes the beast. Of course, here it is. Original fender. Gonna go back on this bike where it belongs. And especially not sitting in his little storage container doing nothing. Last time I saw it, of course, it was covered and filthy in dust and grime. There it is. So of course it was too long. So Rick and I tore it apart, actually cut it. So originally, the difference with this, originally this was not with these collars here. So Rick and I cut those collars, cut down the legs, put it in. Thankfully, Rick did not tighten it all up, which is awesome. Gives me the play that I need to put that front wheel on. But this is the front end to King Solomon. Ready to go. So I've got the front end's ready to go on, but I've got to make sure that I get the cups cleaned out for the neck. Got to put the bearings in, and of course if you don't have that, then the bars don't twist right. Then you get locked up, then you're in trouble, and this rag's not gonna work because it's too dirty. So use the little spray cleaner to keep it clean. What's up, dude?
Parts for Darla are here. Can you come help me fix it?
Well, listen, you broke Darla, you go fix it.
No, I didn't.
Well, listen, I am trying to put this front end on right now. So why do you need Darla right now?
Yes, I have to go. We gotta go and work on the fort.
What part of the fort? You don't need to work on it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you go put it on.
Okay then. If I break it, it's your fault.
No, it's not. You know how to fix it. I can't let him do it alone. Hey, wait up. I'll come help you. A lot of people think these are toys, and it's not. It's a tool. It's all fun and games until you break a tool and you can't use it anymore. And no one's at fault. Nobody did it, I guarantee it. But the day they came and told me, I'll tell you, pretty funny. Alright, hey, I just fixed it, okay? Let's try not to break it the same day I fixed it, okay? Alright, boys, talk to Alright, playtime's over. You know, I'm shutting this door. Boss came in and pulled me away from the bike because we didn't properly maintain Darla, the side-by-side. And I'm filthy from it. Brakes were bad. Boys want to use it. We use it, of course, for feeding and playing and everything else, and the boys love it. So I have got to focus. I've got to get this front end on. So I am not stopping now. The front end is going on. I'm going to grab the right parts to make sure it goes on ready to go. When I left, before he pulled me out, I got these cleaned out, so we're ready to go to seat the bearings in there. I've got a new set of bearings already out. We'll grease up the bearings, put a front end on. No more playing around. It's time to get a motorcycle built. Next time I come out of this barn, King Solomon will be done. You want to work it all in, spin them around. Make sure you're getting it everywhere. Gonna drop the first one into the race. Sit for a minute. The next one's gonna be a little bit trickier because it comes from the underneath side, so I've got to get that one set, but then set it into the front end with the dust cap. before I set it, let's just put this nut on to hold some tension. Give myself a break. There we go. All right. Bearings are still seating well. Again, this is the original front end that was on King Solomon. It was too long for the bike. Rick saved it, built a new one. Well, for my luck, I've now got the original front end from King Solomon. We modified it, cut it, went through the plater, so now it is nickel plated like everything else. And when you see it come back on this bike, from the frame, now a front end on it, now it really is looking like a motorcycle. Before, it's like a piece of abstract art, but now it's a motorcycle. Now it's looking like a motorcycle. Perfect. Bar stops engaging, not over rotating. Have to get up the big guns to tighten it down and we'll be ready to go. Front end's on, now it's looking like a chopper.